Go.
Hello, my name is Matt Miller, and I'm here today to talk to you about should the United States of America activate an embargo act again. I believe that the United States should activate the embargo act again. Numerous jobs are being shipped overseas to Vietnam, China, to Guatemala, places like that, which granted that is helping out their economy, but at the same time it's hurting our economy. Due to the fact is that so many manufacturing jobs have been closed down because they've been shipped to other places, and due to the fact is that so many people are losing their jobs as of lately, it's better for us to actually put an embargo act stating that any company that was here at one time that spent more than a 10-year period of their career in the United States, shipped their stuff, closed every plant, and moved overseas to other places to get cheaper labor, to get cheaper manufacturing and tax rates, I think that those companies should have an embargo act placed on them. What that means is it'll increase the prices on all of their stuff because we're going to tax them more for sending their stuff back to the United States, which is going to increase our job market because more companies are going to be willing to stay in the United States, put manufacturing jobs in the United States. That way they can get cheaper taxes, they can get their products lower, and they can sell more products and get more revenue. Whenever you have an embargo act in place, what it does is it makes the higher priced items, which are overseas items that are imported to us, about 15, 16 cents higher per tax dollar, which usually comes out to be, instead of paying $3 for a gallon of gas, like we do now with oil, if we were to able to make it where you manufacture your own oil here and make your own gas and stuff here and quit getting it from overseas and actually did it here, you go down to $2 a gallon. Same thing when it comes to buying your clothes. If clothes are made in China, instead of being $4, it would be $8, and stuff made in the United States would be $4. So it would increase more jobs. By doing this, you would be able to have more manufacturing job openings, which would take your unemployment rate and destroy it and make it down to about a 2-point, if that. Opening up all the old manufacturer plants that there were at one time in this area would increase the job market. The same thing that happened back when the United States started the Revolutionary War by putting the Embargo Act on is what we need to do now. And the good thing is, if we put the Embargo Act in place, we would have manufacturing jobs and we would have an economy that was booming like the economy was right before World War I and World War II. When the war started, that was when a lot of the plants and stuff were running full force, doing everything that they could. Good news is this will also quit sending jobs overseas. We wouldn't be losing as many jobs overseas like we are now to manufacturing plants going there. One example would be Covidien, which at one time was Kendall, that makes medical supplies for the hospitals around this area. They are actually closing their doors after being here for a good 30, 40 years, if not longer. They're getting ready to close their doors down so they can send their stuff to Venezuela because they have cheaper labor, better taxes, and they're going to be able to get away with getting rid of 600 people from this one plant. I think if we had an embargo act in place, that would prevent stuff like this from happening, which means that a lot more people would not have to worry about trying to find jobs, especially in rural communities and small communities like we have here. When you live in small areas, stuff like that, with very, very small urban populations around, with the biggest cities being an hour, hour and a half away from you, closing down manufacturing plants, which is what a lot of people depend on to make $9, $10 an hour or more, closing those down is causing numerous drops in the economy, numerous drops in the unemployment rate and everything else. We need to put an embargo act back in place because the United States should do it. By doing this, it increases jobs, it drops the unemployment rate, it makes the revenue increase, which means the United States can finally get out of some of the debt that it is in now. The United States is so badly in debt that we need something like the Embargo Act put in place to make sure that the United States can get their money back the way they need to get it back and not have to worry about ruining themselves over and over and over. We need to push towards getting an Embargo Act put in place. The United States should do it. In doing so, the United States will increase itself and make itself the powerhouse that it was at one time in its career. Unfortunately, hopefully, one day that'll happen. That is something that I believe that should happen in the United States. We should make national and worldwide news by putting an embargo act on companies that at one time was in the United States and has now moved on and moved into another country, another area. If we were to put the embargo act in place, it would make sure it would be a lot better. I appreciate your time and thank you.